All right.
Anyways, let's get started.
Okay, so to start it off, I'd just like to throw out the idea that this book, looking at his background of being from Japan and when it was written,
Tony, what are you doing?
was 1951, 52. It was right after World War II had ended, and it's a Japanese island. So the culture itself is on the brink of existence. Yeah. So I mean, they had the global conflict of the entire war had left their entire economic cities just in this pile of just crap.
Like
and
rubble.
Yeah, you kind of see that through like the lighthouse, whereas like it was meant to be like a spot where they like overlooked shooting,
yeah.
like at targets and stuff, and now it's just kind of like decrepit and like just kind of like ruins.
Wait, wasn't that, you mean the artillery watchtower thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the place where they like met and stuff.
And the ghost badger.
But so overall, it explains this very isolated island, which Japan was at the time. Is that, I mean, the reason why they invaded China in World War II is because they were such an isolated island that they were running out of food. They were running out of resources for their help. So,
like for their like they wanted to get, because like back then didn't they like an English explorer or someone like came up, was like, hey Japan, look at these are machine guns, you should join the modern revolution. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then they like rapidly industrialized, and then like they were like, oh wait, we don't have enough money, let's invade someone, get more money and get more guns.
Something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so they were an isolated island, and the so is this. I mean, on page 19, it explains how Shinji is looking out over. He's standing on the shore and he's looking out, and it's a very the style that Mishima uses to describe the water. It's talking. I mean, here, Tony, this was here. Let me.
Was it?
This was your favorite.
Was it
passage.
was it the one where he realized he was small? Was it the one where he was describing it like?
I was talking about the one before he was talking about the fisher. Yeah, the farm.
Okay, the passage is on page 19. I actually have it open. Hey. Surrounded though he was by the vast ocean, Shinji did not especially burn with impossible dreams of great adventure across the seas. His fisherman's conception of the sea was close to that of... Hey Brandon, shut up! Thank you. Okay. His fisherman's conception of the sea was close to that of the farmer of his land. The sea was a place where he earned his living, a rippling field where instead of waving heads of rice or wheat, the white and formless harvest of waves was forever swaying above the unrelieved blueness of a sensitive and yielding soil. Ooh. It's a long passage.
Yeah.
It's like talking like how like the sea is like farming, like you get food. And
Yeah,
you
they relate the sea to agriculture,
Yeah.
which can be seen in the more modern and more civilized areas, rather than on an island where it's surrounded by like nothing but water.
The ocean to them is like rice fields are to China. It's like the ocean is like majority of their food is like from, and basically in this case all of their food.
Okay, so in the book, I mean, it's a broken off passage. To me, that's what makes it stand out, is that you got this long piece of text, and then all of a sudden it's this broken off paragraph, and it goes into this ramble that's it's very much describing the ocean. So, he was looking. I mean, it goes into the basically that passage is talking about how Japan's only resource, or not one of the few resources after World War II, was the ocean. So they were extremely dependent on the ocean. They were all fishermen at this point because we had bombed the crap out of all their other stuff. So, and if I were somebody to kind of bring it back to why Mishima wrote this book, so I say it was because he was trying to preserve their culture. I mean, if your world was on the brink of destruction, you try to preserve it in any way you can. He was a brilliant writer. I'm going to write a book about this way because there's no other way of preserving it. So you see at this time that it was written is that he's preserving about. He's preserving what Japan was at the time.
Don't touch it.
No, pausing.
Yeah. No, like in the video.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I was end with my tangent.
Oh.
So you guys should throw something in there.
All right, yeah. So like, kind of like showing how like they got cut off from like main Japan is you know, when his brother went out to Tokyo on like their school excursion, you know, he went out but when he comes back, he says like, or it describes him as thinking those gleaming streetcars and automobiles had come upon him so suddenly, flashed by and disappeared. Those towering buildings and neon lights that had so amazed him, where were they now? It's just like, you know, so he went there. It's like he almost like forgot about like what Japan had become, and like because they were like trying to like distance themselves from current Japan because it was current Japan that had forced them into a war that ultimately like ended up taking their father. Mm-hmm. Like I was trying to find that passage where they describe how they go to his gravesite because he got like because he died in a strafing attack. So it's almost as like the island has already like suffered so much from this modern Japan that they're trying like that Hiroshi like goes to Tokyo, but like as soon as like the day after he comes back, like he doesn't remember any of it. Like he almost doesn't want to remember it, because normally if you go someplace really cool, you're like you remember that for the rest of your life. Like if you were to go to like the Eiffel Tower, it's not like you're gonna forget it immediately. It's just like yeah.
Okay. I found that passage. Which one did you want? The like where he was actually attacked?
No, like where they described him going to like their dad's gravesite.
Okay. Okay. Right here, page 35.
Page 35?
45 or 35?
35.
Yeah. I think. Yep.
Yeah, it's right here.
Well, it's also later in the book, but they mention it a couple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was page 36 where they actually mentioned that that how his father died.
Yeah.
And how he broke the taboo in bringing a woman on a boat, even though she was dead.
They brought the woman's corpse on, and then like the taboo was that he.
You're not supposed to have women on a boat.
Yeah.
Or priests.
So that just kind of like shows how like you know, like they're kind of like going against their old traditions in this new era of like Japan. Then kind of like. I don't know if it brings shame to like the whole island, but it like specifically brought, you know, like ended up in resulting that in his dad dying, and it kind of just like shows like how like they don't want to like find, you know, they don't really want to like progress in technology, that, you know, because they only have like a couple street lamps in the whole town, and like the city's like they had a city's generator, but like it was dead. Like it wasn't. Yeah, and they like, you know, and it sounded like they like tried to repair it, but it taken like a really long time. Where it's like, if you really wanted it to get repaired, then you could just like go to Tokyo and like have some guy come out and like get it repaired. But it's almost like they didn't want to like associate it with any outside influences. It wasn't a huge priority.
So what you're saying is that it's like that is a symbol of how Japan was, or that this island was interacting with Japan and how they felt towards the mainland.
Yeah, it's almost like they this island like represents like old Japan. Is like the only like remnant left of like old Japan and like the like respect of like culture and stuff in general. Whereas like everything else, all the other like islands have progressed, and they almost think that like that's responsible for the war and stuff, and they don't want to be associated with that.
Like they don't want to be associated with the war because like through progression.
And the fact that like the war like killed like their dad.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can kind of connect it with that. With the very following passage on page 19 is when Shinji's looking out over the horizon, and
realization.
Yeah, the realization is it's a very distant from the other mainland, and he's explaining the horizon. One of the things that we pointed out earlier with their eyes were watching God. She had used the horizon,
like in the ship at the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, the ship at the horizon to kind of explain the life and
like what you're trying to attain, like what your goals are and what you want to attain.
What your goals are, and he's explaining about how on this very isolated island, he's looking out over the horizon, and he sees a white freighter.
Yeah. Was it white?
Yep.
Yeah, white freighter.
Yeah. Even so, when that day's fishing was almost done, the sight of a white freighter sailing across the evening clouds on the horizon filled the boy's heart with strange emotions. From far away, the world came pressing in upon him with hugeness he had never before apprehended. The realization of this unknown world came to him like distant thunder, now pealing from afar, now dying away to nothingness.
Well, it's like a good connection to I Was Russian God because like his like ultimate like goal is to like own his own shipping company with like his brother, and like for like Janie and the I Was Russian God, her ultimate dream was just to like have that independence and not have like anyone responsible for her actions, just herself. So like through the same idea of like a boat, like they both want different goals in a way.
Like on a boat, you would be like totally isolated.
Yeah, and you're completely free out there too. And in his case, it's like his way that he wants to like make a living and like kind of like keep tradition. Like he's like almost like he wants to like keep traditions, but like the fact that he wants to do like shipping rather than like fishing is almost like maybe wanting to like also distance himself from like the island in a way. I don't know why, but
okay. Well, something I'm just kind of looking at that passage, something I hadn't realized now, is that the evening clouds. He says a white freighter sailing against the evening clouds.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
Like
Why would he say that?
against him?
like a background.
Yeah, it's sailing against the evening clouds. Is it just saying
Like
Oh,
those
hey,
clouds
hey,
are behind
hey,
it.
Okay, like it's a white freighter. Like you know how white usually represents good and light and stuff.
Purity.
Like yeah, against the evening clouds. Evening clouds are usually like red and dark and kind of scary looking. Like maybe it's like showing like a good versus evil sort of thing. Like it's sailing against them. Like against it could mean like it's fighting against the evening clouds.
Isn't it red in the morning, sailor's wording, red at night, sailor's delight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that a warning?
No, but it's red at night, so it's sailor's delight.
Well, it doesn't necessarily say it's red.
But he also gets strange emotions, so it's delight. So it could relate to Hatsu somehow.
Okay, I like that. Is that he gets? I mean, this is after meeting Raider.
And it kind of says that the boy's heart filled with strange emotions.
Yeah.
And he
just met her.
Yeah. and specifically saying, speaking of that, he's never been sick before, right? Mm-hmm. And ever since he saw her, he's been feeling like that, right? So, like Ryan said,
But it's like almost, but like finding out like that like you want to like a girl can almost feel like a distant like world. It's like you're so like used to thinking one way that and like that can like completely throw you like a whole like a chainsaw into it.
Women.
because there's a difference between being with someone you really like and people that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, he acts the same around his family and around the villagers, right?
So
In a way, because he's usually always a silent person, right? He doesn't talk very much to other people. But whenever he's around Hatsui, he's full of energy. Well, he's always full of energy, but he expresses his energy more, and is I guess more outgoing.
Well, what does that say about the culture? Do you think that Shinji represents everybody in that island at the time?
No, I don't think so because like the whole thing is like I think custom. It seemed like it was probably like arranged marriages because like the one Uncle Teru guy was trying to get
Trying to get her to marry.
He's trying to get his son to like or his son wanted to like marry like Hatsu, but like they end up working on the same boat in the end, and he like told the captain to like whichever he like to just kind of like watch out like what and see what they do and like see like what actions they take, and like Yasu.
Yasua was like a coward.
Yeah, he was just always like lazy and didn't really do anything, and
then
Because he was
Shinji
more
was like
civilized.
Yeah, and Shinji was a lot more like
Traditional.
traditional and respectful.
And he jumped off the boat to tie and
a lot more honorable for like something that isn't really like that big of a deal, and well, not like on like large scale.
So pretty much what Shinji represents pretty much the tradition that Japan should hold, while Yasuo he pretty much represents the what would you say, the more civilized, the more advanced but civilized people, but also kind of straying away from their original traditions, not being able to hold to your honor in a way.
I also think Shinji could kind of like be like the almost like the in between for like new society versus like their cultural roots.
Because he wants to keep everything the same, but he wants to incorporate other or foreign ideas in.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, he actually has like interests in Hatsu like through like a love thing rather than just like an arranged marriage, because like normally he probably wouldn't have had a chance to have an arranged marriage with her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, I can't remember what other book it was like now, but some other book.
So just sort of a wrap it up. The basically, if we look at the very big picture, is that the reason why Mishima wrote this book was he was preserving Japan's what should be the culture, and because using this isolated island and using the development at Shinji.
At this point, I don't even know if it's like a preservation. I wonder if it's just like document the change and like the struggle between ideals at that point in time.
I agree with Ryan. It's not more of preservation. It's more of getting that information out there so that people know how they lived back in the days.
Okay.
Rather than Japan is full of cities, or it's full of cities now, and it's got a lot of civilized people. What about the little islands that no one really knows about?
All right.
Yeah, I think it's just more like trying to like show like the struggles that they were going through at that time and stuff. Rather than more. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We're good. Cool.
Team D.A.R.T. wrapped up.
Better post that on YouTube.